Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we are going to do a knife review today. And the knife we have with us, it is the Kubey KU901D. And this is a knife that I picked up. I wasn't really even considering it. It came actually in a mystery box that I had bought online, and it's one that I have been impressed with ever since I took it out of the box. And so let's just take a look at this. This knife has a blade length of 3.27 inches. Open, it is 7.8 inches, and closed, it is 4.53 inches long. The steel on this, it is a D2 steel. So yeah, holds an edge pretty decently, and will work. You can be tough with that. It is a drop point blade on it. The weight on it, it is 3.88 ounces. And it's got a G10 handle with the stainless steel liners. And the liners have been slightly skeletonized just to take the weight down a little bit. Pocket clip on this, it is reversible. Tip up pocket clip, deep carry, so righty, lefty. You can use it on either side, which does make this knife ambidextrous, which is also a cool plus. It does have the ceramic ball bearings in the pivot, and I gotta say, I've had a few Kubey knives and the pivots work really great on them. Smooth right out of the box. Very happy with that. So you do have the flipper tab for opening, or the dual thumb studs, whichever you prefer. Either work very well. And so yes, just up to your preference how you prefer to open that. And so liking that gives you some options. It does have some jimping on the back of the blade and a little bit of a thumb ramp there, which I really like. I find that it's easy to get a good purchase there, so liking that. And for those of you who do like lanyards, you can put a lanyard in, as it does have the lanyard hole at the back. It is centered, and there is no blade play up or down, left or right. It sits in there nice and solid, and so that's always a plus. You like that in your knife as well. Sorry, I have oily hands. And we don't want to make the blade all marked up before we get going here. So let's take a look at some size comparisons. We have the Ontario Rat 2 and the Benchmade Bug Out. So you can see this knife does have a bit of size compared to those two knives. And we'll do a couple other knives here. I have the Sencut Saxi and the Kubey Cogent, and you can see that those knives are relatively the same size. So it's a good size knife. If you're liking the bigger knives, it does have some good size to it, so you can use it for some of the bigger jobs on the work site or campsite or whatever it is you might be doing. It does give you that little extra size. How about sharpness? Let's take a quick look at what it has to offer. I found that most of the D2, they have really good edges on them, and you can see that cuts there. And also, my big thing is these goofy zip ties. I don't know if you ever get packages with the zip ties on them. Trying to cut them, it's always nice to have a knife that can go through those, and that one goes through that pretty darn easy. Oh, I might have cut this cord a little short. I got a nylon cord here, and nope, goes through that. And no problems on that. So blade is good and sharp, and like I say, the D2 steel, it will hold an edge quite well. And so you shouldn't have to sharpen it too much depending on the jobs that you're doing and and how you treat your knife. It should hold an edge for quite a while. So the things that I liked about this knife, I like the aesthetics of it. I mean, it's a very kind of generic design, but I like what they've done. They've got some swedge up on the top here of the blade, which gives it a little nicer look. I like the thumb ramp. I find those very useful, especially when you're pushing forward. If you're trying to like make shavings or that for a campfire, it just gives you that extra purchase. Your thumb is way less likely to slide. And the jimping is always a nice touch like that as well. And the handle, it is a very generic type handle, but I think it all works together quite well. You have a little bit of a belly here on the blade, and I just like it. I think it's not a wow factor knife, but it does look good, and so I'm happy with it. The ergonomics on it, great ergonomics, feels really good in the hand. And as I said, with the thumb ramp there, you get that extra purchase. You feel like you're in control of the knife at all times. It's a little bit of a finger groove here, and then you've got a little more of a finger groove. It just kind of works all well together because you get your fingers placed, and everybody has a spot on the handle, and just gives you that extra control, which is nice. You feel like you've got the knife in your hand and it's not going anywhere. The grip, they did do the textured grip on the G10, which is nice. It allows you to get a good purchase. It's not going to slip. The jimping gives you a little bit more purchase, so you do have a really good grip. Even if you were to have wet hands in that, this would stay in your hand. It's not going anywhere, which is always a plus as well. The pivot on it, I've already mentioned Kubey pivots. I have to be careful with this. If you're like me, sometimes I forget to get my thumb out of the way, and so tend to cut there, because this is almost a drop close blade. It's got very smooth action to it, and liking that a lot. So well done. Kubey, as I've said, their pivots, I have yet to get a Kubey knife in my hand that the pivot doesn't work properly on it. They all seem to be very smooth and operate very well. So good on Kubey for that. And it fits the pocket quite well. It doesn't feel like a bulky knife. It is a bigger knife, but it doesn't feel like a bigger knife, which is kind of hard to explain until you actually get it in your hand. You look at it and think, yeah, that's a good sized knife, but it just doesn't feel like a big knife in your hand or in your pocket. So I like that about it. It just doesn't take up a lot of room in the pocket, which is great. So you aren't always banging your hand against it when you're reaching into the pocket. But you do notice the flipper tab a little bit. It's hard not to hit those when you go in your pocket for stuff, but that's just one of the downsides of the flipper. So, but it works in the pocket good. My only real complaint about this was, again, the pocket clip. They didn't make the connection here flush, so your screws and the back of the pocket clip, they do stick up. It's just wear and tear on your pocket. Yeah, it holds on a little bit better, but also if you have thicker pocket material, you got to really push it down, and yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. So one of my biggest complaints with a lot of knife companies is the lack of putting that pocket clip flush. So guys, come on, go the little extra effort and flush that out. It just means less wear and tear on the pocket. But as far as a everyday carry knife, man, I would recommend this to anybody. Here in Canada, these cost about $50, which is great price for knives, as knives have gone up lately, and so it's not a bad price for a knife. I consider it a budget price, and yes, very happy with this. I would consider this to be an everyday carry knife. I've used it. Surprisingly, I carried this more than I thought. Like I said, I didn't even really know much about this knife. It came in a mystery box, and so didn't know what to expect with it. But once I got it and got a hold of it, I really liked the knife. It felt good, worked good. Used it around the yard and around the house here, opening packages, breaking down boxes, and the like, and it does great. So definitely would recommend this for an EDC. Be a great camp knife if you're out hiking and camping. It's got the good size. Like I said, you can cut small branches if you're making roasting sticks for hot dogs or marshmallows. But you still got control if you're doing smaller jobs, and you could use it for cooking your meals or cutting up your meals and stuff like that. So definitely would give this a consideration as an everyday carry knife, and I will continue to carry this in my rotation. And so yes, highly recommend them. I have yet to be disappointed by a Kubey knife. So check out Kubey knives if you're looking for an everyday carry knife for yourself. And oh, I forgot to mention, it is a liner lock as well. So it's got the liner there. You push it down and close the blade in, but make sure you get your fingers out of the way because you will cut them with the sharpened edge. So definitely check these out as an everyday carry knife, or as a gift for a friend or somebody that you know that's looking for a knife. I would highly recommend this. So this is the Kubey KU901D. All right, that is it for this review. Thank you for joining me on that. Hit the like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. I will get back to you. Love hearing from you guys, and we will do this all over again with another knife. But until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.